But a new poll out shows that the president's approval rating is sinking off 5 percentage points. And with his 40% approval rating, that is just 21 percentage points below the historical average for newly elected presidents come mid-February. Joining us now to talk about this, Capri Cafaro. She's the executive in residence at the American University School on Public Affairs and former Ohio State Senate Minority Leader, and Lawrence Jones, Blaze TV and radio host of The Lawrence Jones Show. He's also a conservative commentator. Thank you both for joining us.
Absolutely.
So let's take a look at this list of accomplishments that the president put out. The White House put this out. It's called Achieving Results for the American People. Number one, jump-starting job creation. Number two, saving taxpayer money, restoring public safety, and then getting out of the way, or getting government out of the way. So, Capri, do you think he's done a good job?
I mean, I think that the list that you just described are things that he has done. You know, when you take a look, particularly at his executive orders, for example, you know, getting out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, eliminating regulations, you know, these kind of things certainly are fulfilling campaign promises. So, you know, from a domestic agenda, from an economic agenda, I think that, you know, he certainly is doing what he said he was going to do. It has been a little bit more of a rocky road, certainly on the foreign policy side, with a bumpy launch of the initial travel ban executive order, but I know that there's going to be a reset there coming up. So he certainly is off to a strong start.
Well, he has been busy. Yeah, you mentioned the executive orders. He signed at least 23 of those, Lawrence. He's signed 5 bills into law. He's seen 12 members of his cabinet confirmed, and he's nominated 1 justice for the Supreme Court. What kind of job do you think he's done?
Well, when you talk about the Supreme Court, we can just stop right there, because many conservatives that were very hesitant about supporting Donald Trump in the first place, they voted for him because of the Supreme Court, and he chose a great nominee for that. When we talk about jobs, that's what we're concerned about. When we talk about repealing some of the regulations as it relates to Obamacare that's hurting businesses, those are all great things. I think when you take the emotion and the tweeting out of it, it's not so bad.
Well, he has some other accomplishments. We want to go through these, Capri, and I'll get you to comment on it. He went on to say that an America First foreign policy also calls that an accomplishment, draining the swamp, defending the Constitution, and helping women succeed in business. He's met with more than 30 foreign leaders so far.
Yes. You know, I think it's a mixed bag, as I said earlier. You know, part of it, I think, is the fact that, well, yes, he is engaging, you know, foreign leaders, you know, and hosting a number of them at the White House and down in Palm Beach as well. You know, it's a good start, but I think that he really now needs to focus on developing a cohesive foreign policy, you know, working with his team like Rex Tillerson, you know, like Mattis, and bringing together something that is cohesive. It's one thing to say it's an America First policy. It's another to point to. I will say this as well. I think that it's important for him to, now that, you know, things are kind of calming down with the cabinet appointees, he needs to start filling the positions of the rank and file below, so we can have a government that is functioning, I think, a little bit better.
But he probably needs some more people to work together in order to do that. Lawrence,
I
want to go back to that approval rating that we talked about at the very beginning. We should also say that that's pretty much the amount that President Obama lost his first month. He lost 5 percentage points. He went from 68 to 64%, and then that was not as much as President Clinton. He lost 7 points in approval in his first month.
Well, I think one thing we have to know when we're talking about the approval ratings and the polls in that sense is that Donald Trump has an ability like no other president. He connects very well with the American people, the people that voted for him. And so when we're looking at these approval ratings, they're going to say that this was the press's fault because of the negativity from the mainstream media, that they haven't really given him a great start. They haven't really given a fair shake. And so as it relates to that approval rate, I'm not sure that's going to be any effect as it relates to the American people, because he connects well with them.
And who do you think those American people will blame if more is not accomplished?
Congress.
Yeah. Right, right. And not only Congress, but
media.
they're going to blame you guys, the media.
Yeah, Congress and the media. All right. Thank you both for joining us on President's Day. Capri, Lawrence, we
Absolutely.
Thanks,
appreciate
Heather.
it. Thank
Thanks.
you.